Have you ever dreamed of becoming so successful that even the people closest to you can't believe how far you've come? Success isn't just about reaching goals, it's about transforming yourself into someone unrecognizable in the best way possible. It's about outgrowing your old limits and stepping into a version of yourself you once only imagined. In this episode, we're diving into the secrets of success, the tools, habits, and mindsets that can help you rise above challenges and create a life that's extraordinary. From discovering where true fortunes lie to mastering the art of simplifying your plans, every lesson we cover today is a building block toward greatness. Stay with us until the end, because these lessons aren't just about achieving success. They're about becoming a person who embodies it. And if you're ready to start your journey toward unstoppable success, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and type "I'm ready" in the comments below. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Where fortunes can be made. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to create immense wealth and success, while others struggle to get by? The answer lies not in luck, but in understanding where true fortunes are made. Here's the secret. Wealth doesn't come from storing value, it comes from creating it. Let's consider the difference between someone who stores assets, like gold or real estate, and someone who builds something transformative, like a product or service. While gold may appreciate in value over time, it doesn't generate anything new. On the other hand, people like steel tycoons, technology pioneers, and medical innovators don't just preserve value, they create it. They take raw materials, ideas, or opportunities and transform them into something the world needs. This is where real fortunes are made. Take Sarah, for example. She worked a stable office job for years, saving money and investing in small amounts of stock. But her financial growth was slow, and she felt stuck. One day, inspired by her love for baking, she started creating unique handcrafted desserts and selling them online. What began as a side hustle turned into a thriving business. Sarah didn't just store her value, she multiplied it by creating something people wanted. The principle here is simple. Wealth creation happens when you produce something of value. This doesn't mean you have to invent the next life-changing gadget. It could be as simple as solving a common problem, providing a needed service, or sharing your unique skills in a way that benefits others. But here's the catch. Producing value requires focus. In today's world, we're bombarded with distractions, from endless streams of social media to an overload of irrelevant information. Successful people know how to cut through the noise. They conserve their mental energy for what matters most, creating. Instead of consuming meaningless content, they prioritize their goals and channel their energy into producing value. This idea isn't just about financial wealth, it's about impact. Think about innovators like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. They didn't just chase wealth, they focused on creating solutions that transformed industries. Whether it's Tesla's push towards sustainable energy or Amazon's redefinition of convenience, their fortunes are a byproduct of the value they created. So, how can you start applying this lesson to your own life? First, ask yourself, what value can I create? Maybe it's turning your creative hobby into a small business. Maybe it's using your expertise to help others in a meaningful way. Whatever it is, focus on producing rather than consuming. And remember, the scale doesn't matter. It's about taking that first step toward building something that matters. Here's your challenge. For the next week, take inventory of how you spend your time. Are you consuming more than you're creating? Identify one area where you can shift your focus toward production. It might be writing, building, brainstorming, or simply taking the first step toward a long-term project. Start small, but stay consistent. Because fortunes aren't just made in banks or stock markets, they're made in the mind of someone willing to create. And the moment you decide to focus on producing value, you've already started building yours. Lesson 2. The one skill all successful people have. Success often seems like a mystery, a mix of talent, timing, and opportunity. But if you strip it all back, there's one skill every successful person has mastered: the ability to take consistent, meaningful action. Regardless of their natural abilities or resources, successful people excel because they turn plans into reality, one deliberate step at a time. Let's look at Ethan, a software engineer with big dreams of launching his own app. For years, he stayed stuck in the planning phase, overanalyzing every detail and convincing himself he wasn't ready. One day, he decided to stop overthinking and start coding. His first version was rough, full of bugs and lacking features, but it worked. That first step gave him the confidence to iterate, improve, and build momentum. Today, Ethan's app is one of the most downloaded in its category. What separates Ethan from those who stay stuck? He took action, even when things weren't perfect. This is the hallmark of success, bridging the gap between thought and execution. Successful people don't wait for the right moment or a flawless plan. They act, adjust, and learn along the way. But why is taking action so difficult for many? The answer lies in fear and hesitation. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These fears often lead to what's called analysis paralysis, where overthinking replaces action. Successful people combat this by focusing on progress, not perfection. They know that even small, imperfect steps build momentum, and momentum fuels success. Another critical factor is routine. High achievers don't rely on bursts of motivation. They create systems that ensure daily progress. Athletes stick to training schedules. Writers commit to a word count. Entrepreneurs dedicate time to brainstorming and testing ideas. By embedding action into their routines, they make success inevitable. Let's not forget the power of persistence. Action alone isn't enough. It needs to be consistent. Consider Thomas Edison, who famously said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." His success didn't come from a single brilliant idea, but from relentless experimentation and refinement. Successful people understand that greatness is built over time, not overnight. So, how can you cultivate this skill in your own life? Start by setting clear, actionable goals. Instead of saying, "I want to get fit," commit to specific steps like walking 10,000 steps a day or hitting the gym 3 times a week. Break down big goals into smaller tasks that feel manageable. And most importantly, act. Don't let fear or overthinking hold you back. Here's your challenge. Pick one goal you've been putting off. Write down the first action you can take toward it, no matter how small, and commit to doing it today. Then repeat this process tomorrow and the next day until it becomes a habit. Remember, the magic isn't in the size of the step, but in the fact that you're moving forward. Ethan's story shows us that success doesn't require perfection, it requires momentum. By mastering the skill of consistent action, you set yourself apart from those who wait, hesitate, or overanalyze. You become the kind of person who turns dreams into reality, one step at a time. Because in the end, success isn't about what you plan to do. It's about what you actually do. Lesson 3. This is how to hone your ideas. Have you ever had a great idea but hesitated to act on it because you weren't sure it was good enough? Many people experience this moment of doubt, and too often they let their ideas fade away. But the truth is, the best ideas aren't born perfect. They're shaped, refined, and improved over time. Take Anna, a mother of 2 who loved cooking. One day she came up with the idea to create healthy, easy-to-make meal kits for busy families like hers. But as she shared the idea with friends, she was met with skepticism. "Aren't there already too many meal kit companies?" someone asked. Instead of giving up, Anna decided to refine her concept. She focused on what made her idea unique: kits tailored specifically to kids' tastes, with engaging activities to make cooking fun. With that refined vision, Anna launched her business, and today her meal kits are a hit in her community. Anna's success didn't come from having a perfect idea, it came from honing her concept. The process of refining an idea involves gathering feedback, staying open to new perspectives, and embracing the possibility of failure. Each piece of feedback Anna received helped her see her idea more clearly, turning a good concept into a great one. The first step in honing your ideas is to share them. Many people keep their ideas to themselves out of fear that someone might steal them or criticize them. But the truth is, ideas grow when they're exposed to different perspectives. By sharing your thoughts with others, whether it's friends, family, or colleagues, you gain insights you might never have considered on your own. Feedback is invaluable, but it's also important to filter it. Not every opinion will be useful, and some might be influenced by bias or misunderstanding. Successful innovators listen carefully, discern what's helpful, and use that feedback to improve. They understand that constructive criticism isn't an attack, it's an opportunity. Another key to honing your ideas is testing them in the real world. Think of it as a prototype phase. Instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, start small. Create a basic version of your idea and see how people respond. This process doesn't just validate your concept, it gives you the chance to learn and adapt before investing significant time or resources. Anna's journey also highlights the importance of perseverance. There will always be setbacks, doubts, and moments of uncertainty. But those who succeed are the ones who keep going, even when the path isn't clear. They embrace the process, knowing that each step brings them closer to a refined, impactful idea. Here's your challenge. Think about an idea you've been holding on to. Share it with someone you trust and ask for their honest feedback. Then, identify one small step you can take to test or refine your concept. Maybe it's sketching out a plan, creating a basic prototype, or simply writing down the key details. Remember, action fuels clarity, and clarity sharpens ideas. Honing your ideas isn't about achieving perfection, it's about embracing growth. By sharing, testing, and refining, you can transform even the simplest concept into something extraordinary. Just like Anna, your idea has the potential to make a difference. All it takes is the courage to start shaping it. Lesson 4. Avoid half of your trouble with this. Life often feels overwhelming, not because it's inherently complicated, but because we tend to overcomplicate it. Whether it's juggling too many tasks, overthinking simple decisions, or creating unnecessary drama, much of our stress is self-inflicted. The key to avoiding a significant portion of your troubles lies in one simple principle: simplify. Take Michael, for example. A father of 3, he worked a demanding job while trying to keep up with household responsibilities and his kids' extracurricular activities. His days were a blur of rushing, multitasking, and feeling like he was barely keeping up. One day, after missing his daughter's school play because of work, Michael realized something had to change. He sat down with his wife, reviewed their priorities, and decided to streamline their lives. They cut out unnecessary commitments, simplified their schedules, and focused on what truly mattered: family time and quality moments together. The result? Less stress, more clarity, and a life that felt manageable again. Michael's story illustrates an important truth. Complexity often creates more problems than it solves. When we overfill our schedules or chase too many goals at once, we dilute our energy and attention. Simplifying allows us to focus on what matters most, creating space for clarity and progress. The first step to simplifying is identifying what truly matters. Ask yourself, what are my core values and priorities? For Michael, it was family. For someone else, it might be career growth, health, or personal development. Once you're clear on what's important, it becomes easier to say no to distractions and unnecessary obligations. Simplification also applies to your physical and mental space. A cluttered desk, for instance, can make even the simplest task feel daunting. By organizing your environment and removing what doesn't serve a purpose, you create room for creativity and focus. The same principle applies to your thoughts. When you stop overthinking and break problems into manageable steps, they become far less intimidating. But simplifying isn't about doing less. It's about doing what matters. Successful people excel because they prioritize their energy on high-impact tasks. Instead of trying to do everything, they focus on the things that move them closer to their goals. Here's an actionable tip. Review your commitments for the week and identify one task, event, or habit that isn't aligned with your priorities. Eliminate it, delegate it, or postpone it. Use that freed up time to focus on something meaningful instead. Let's revisit Michael's story. By simplifying his commitments, he didn't just reduce stress. He improved his relationships, found more time for self-care, and even performed better at work because his mind was clearer. This ripple effect shows the power of simplicity. It doesn't just solve one problem, it creates room for a better life. Here's your challenge. Take a moment to look at your life. Is there an area where complexity is causing unnecessary stress? Maybe it's an overpacked schedule, a cluttered workspace, or a long list of goals pulling you in too many directions. Pick one thing to simplify today and notice how it changes your perspective. Remember, avoiding half of your trouble isn't about escaping responsibility. It's about focusing your energy where it counts. Simplify your schedule, your space, and your thoughts, and watch as clarity and calm take their place. Because sometimes the best way to move forward is to remove what's holding you back. Lesson 5. Become a champion in praising people. In a world where criticism and competition are often louder than kindness, sincere praise can feel like a rare gift. Yet, the ability to genuinely recognize and celebrate others is one of the most powerful tools for building strong relationships, inspiring trust, and creating positive environments. Becoming a champion in praising people isn't just about making others feel good. It's about fostering connections that open doors to success and fulfillment. Consider Sarah, a customer service representative at a busy call center. Her job was challenging, with constant pressure and demanding customers. But what set Sarah apart was her attitude toward her co-workers. She made it a habit to acknowledge their efforts, no matter how small. When a colleague resolved a tough call, Sarah would say, "That was impressive. I love how patient you were with that customer." Over time, her words of encouragement created a ripple effect. Morale improved, her team became more cohesive, and Sarah's reputation as a supportive and uplifting presence grew. She was soon promoted to team leader, not just for her performance, but for the impact she had on those around her. Sarah's story highlights a simple truth. People thrive on recognition, whether it's a compliment, a word of encouragement, or a public acknowledgement of their achievements. Genuine praise has the power to uplift and motivate. It's a way of saying, "I see you. Your efforts matter." The key to effective praise is sincerity. People can sense when compliments are forced or superficial, and insincere praise can do more harm than good. To genuinely praise someone, focus on specific qualities or actions. Instead of saying, "Great job, try," "I loved how creative your approach was in solving that problem." This kind of feedback feels authentic and meaningful. Praising others isn't just about making them feel valued. It also changes how they see you. People are naturally drawn to those who recognize their strengths. In professional settings, this can lead to stronger collaborations and opportunities. In personal relationships, it builds trust and deepens connections. But why stop at praising individuals? You can also praise groups, ideas, and shared achievements. Recognizing collective effort fosters a sense of unity and encourages everyone to contribute their best. Whether it's a team at work or a group of friends, celebrating shared wins strengthens bonds and creates momentum for future success. Here's how you can start. The next time you notice someone doing something well, take a moment to acknowledge it. Be specific about what you admire and why it stood out to you. If you're in a leadership position, consider making praise a regular part of your interactions, whether it's through team meetings, one-on-one conversations, or simple thank you notes. Let's revisit Sarah's story. Her habit of praising others didn't just uplift her colleagues, it transformed her career. By focusing on building others up, she became a person people wanted to follow. Her kindness and sincerity created opportunities she couldn't have predicted, all because she chose to lead with recognition. Here's your challenge. Think of one person in your life, a coworker, friend, or family member, who has done something you admire. Reach out to them today and offer genuine praise. Be specific, be sincere, and watch how your words create a positive ripple effect. Becoming a champion in praising people isn't just about giving, it's about creating a culture of positivity and mutual support. And as you lift others, you'll find that you're lifting yourself as well. Because in a world that often feels divided, praise has the power to bring us closer together. Lesson 6. Get rid of any plans that are not essential. Success doesn't come from doing more, it comes from doing what matters. In a world filled with endless distractions, commitments, and to-do lists, the most successful people know that the key to progress lies in eliminating the unnecessary. By focusing on what truly matters, they free up time, energy, and mental clarity to achieve their goals. Take Mark, a small business owner. His days were packed with meetings, emails, and minor tasks that left him exhausted but unproductive. Despite his hard work, his business wasn't growing. One evening, frustrated and overwhelmed, Mark sat down and reviewed everything he'd been doing. To his surprise, half of his tasks didn't align with his core goals. He decided to streamline his schedule, cutting out anything that wasn't directly contributing to his growth. Within months, Mark's business flourished, and he found himself with more time to focus on creative strategies and meaningful projects. Mark's story highlights an essential truth. Not everything is equally important. We often fall into the trap of thinking we have to do it all, but the reality is that some tasks are distractions, pulling us away from what truly matters. The secret to progress isn't doing more, it's doing less, better. The first step in eliminating non-essential plans is identifying your priorities. Ask yourself, what are my most important goals? Whether it's advancing your career, improving your health, or spending quality time with loved ones, knowing your priorities helps you filter out activities that don't align with them. Next, evaluate your current commitments. For each task, ask, does this bring me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. This might mean saying no to unnecessary meetings, delegating tasks, or even stepping away from social obligations that drain your energy. One of the biggest challenges in simplifying your plans is overcoming the fear of letting go. Many of us feel guilty for saying no or worry that we'll miss out on opportunities. But the truth is, every yes comes with a cost. It takes time and energy away from something else. By saying no to what's non-essential, you're saying yes to what truly matters. Let's consider a practical approach. The 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. This principle states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Focus on the 20%, the high-impact activities, and minimize the rest. For Mark, this meant prioritizing business development and customer relationships while delegating administrative tasks. Simplifying your plans doesn't mean abandoning ambition. It means creating space for meaningful progress. When you free yourself from the clutter of unnecessary commitments, you gain clarity, focus, and energy. This not only makes you more productive, but also reduces stress and burnout. Here's your challenge. Take 10 minutes today to review your schedule or to-do list. Identify one task, plan, or commitment that isn't essential and eliminate it. Use the time you free up to work on something that aligns with your core goals. Mark's transformation didn't just improve his business, it improved his life. By focusing on what mattered most, he found more balance, fulfillment, and success. You can do the same by letting go of what's non-essential and committing to what truly matters. Because success isn't about doing everything, it's about doing the right things. Lesson 7. Achieving greatness is within reach. Greatness often feels like an unattainable dream, something reserved for the extraordinarily talented or the impossibly lucky. But the truth is, achieving greatness isn't about perfection or privilege. It's about persistence, mindset, and believing that the extraordinary is within your reach. Let's talk about Emily, a school teacher in a small town. For years, Emily dreamed of starting a literacy program to help underprivileged children in her community. But she doubted herself. I'm just one person. How can I make a difference? She thought. One day she decided to take the first step. Emily reached out to a local library, gathered a group of volunteers, and began teaching reading skills to a handful of kids every weekend. Over time, the program grew, gaining support from local businesses and parents. Today, Emily's initiative has helped hundreds of children, and it all started with her belief that she could do something meaningful. Emily's story reminds us that greatness doesn't require a grand beginning. It requires the willingness to start where you are, with what you have, and to build from there. The journey to greatness is paved with small, consistent steps that compound over time. One of the key traits of people who achieve greatness is their ability to stay focused on their goals, even when the path isn't clear. They embrace challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles to avoid. This mindset allows them to push through setbacks and failures, emerging stronger and more determined. Another secret to achieving greatness is aligning your actions with your purpose. Ask yourself, what drives me? What impact do I want to make? When your goals resonate with your values, they become more than aspirations, they become missions. This sense of purpose fuels the resilience and motivation needed to keep going, even when the journey gets tough. Greatness also requires a willingness to step out of your comfort zone. It's easy to stay where it's safe, doing what feels familiar. But the extraordinary lies beyond the ordinary. Whether it's learning a new skill, taking on a challenging project, or pursuing a bold idea, every step outside your comfort zone brings you closer to your potential. Let's revisit Emily's story. Her path wasn't without challenges. There were moments when she doubted herself, struggled to find resources, or felt overwhelmed by the responsibility. But each time she reminded herself why she started. That sense of purpose kept her moving forward, one step at a time, until her small idea became a transformative force in her community. Here's your challenge. Think about an area in your life where you want to achieve greatness. Write down one specific goal and then identify a small action you can take today to move closer to it. Remember, the journey to greatness begins with a single step, and every step matters. Achieving greatness isn't about being extraordinary from the start. It's about believing in your potential, aligning your actions with your purpose, and having the persistence to see it through. Just like Emily, you have the ability to create something impactful. The question is, are you willing to take that first step? Because greatness isn't out of reach. It's waiting for you to reach for it. Lesson 8. By altering meaning, transform attitudes and situations. The way we interpret events shapes our reality. Two people can experience the same situation, yet one sees a challenge while the other sees an opportunity. This ability to assign meaning is a powerful tool, and by altering the meaning of a situation, you can transform your attitude and even the outcome. Let's take Liam, a delivery driver who had a tough week. Delays, rude customers, and heavy traffic left him feeling drained and frustrated. One evening, his mentor shared a simple piece of advice. Liam, what if you viewed each delivery not as a task, but as an opportunity to brighten someone's day? Curious, Liam tried it. The next day he greeted every customer with a genuine smile and kind words. To his surprise, his mood improved, and several customers even complimented his positivity. What had been a frustrating routine transformed into a rewarding experience, all because Liam changed the meaning of his work. Liam's story illustrates how reframing can change not only how we feel, but also how we approach life. Instead of reacting to situations as they appear, we can step back and choose how we interpret them. This shift in perspective allows us to respond with resilience, creativity, and optimism. The practice of altering meaning begins with awareness. When you find yourself in a difficult situation, pause and ask, what story am I telling myself about this? Is there another way to look at it? For instance, instead of seeing a failure as proof of inadequacy, view it as a lesson that brings you closer to success. Instead of seeing criticism as an attack, see it as valuable feedback for growth. Reframing isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about finding a perspective that empowers you. Consider the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom reminds us that while we can't control external events, we can control how we interpret and respond to them. Reframing also applies to relationships and communication. When faced with a disagreement, for example, try to see the other person's perspective. Instead of viewing it as a conflict, see it as an opportunity to understand their needs and find common ground. This shift can turn tension into collaboration and build stronger connections. Here's a simple exercise to try. The next time something frustrating happens, a delay, a mistake, or a setback, pause and ask yourself, how can I see this differently? What can I learn or gain from this experience? Write down your thoughts and notice how this change in perspective affects your mood and actions. Let's return to Liam's story. By altering the meaning of his daily tasks, he didn't just improve his own attitude, he impacted those around him. Customers began leaving better reviews, his manager noticed his efforts, and his positive energy inspired his co-workers. This ripple effect shows how powerful reframing can be, both for yourself and others. Here's your challenge. Identify one situation in your life that feels negative or draining. Take a moment to reflect on how you've been interpreting it. Then, choose a new meaning, one that empowers you rather than holds you back. Practice this mindset shift for a week and observe the changes it brings. By altering the meaning of situations, you gain the power to transform your reality. You no longer feel like a victim of circumstances, you become the creator of your own experience. Because sometimes the story you tell yourself is the most important story of all. Lesson 9. Ask and you will achieve. Opportunities often seem out of reach, but what if the only thing standing between you and your goals is the courage to ask? The simple act of asking, whether for help, guidance, or collaboration, has the power to open doors, forge connections, and bring your aspirations to life. Yet many people hesitate, held back by fear of rejection or the belief that they shouldn't need assistance. Consider Maya, a freelance graphic designer struggling to grow her client base. For months, she relied on word-of-mouth referrals, hoping new opportunities would come her way. One day, after a particularly slow week, Maya decided to try something different. She reached out to local businesses, offering to create free sample designs to showcase her skills. To her surprise, several businesses responded enthusiastically, and within weeks, she landed 3 long-term contracts. Maya's success wasn't a matter of luck. It was the result of asking boldly and confidently. Maya's story highlights an essential truth. You can't achieve what you don't ask for. Whether it's requesting feedback, seeking mentorship, or proposing a new idea, asking is often the first step toward progress. Successful people understand this. They're not afraid to reach out, take initiative, and create opportunities where none seem to exist. But why do so many people hesitate to ask? One reason is the fear of rejection. It's natural to worry about hearing no, but successful individuals don't let that stop them. They see rejection not as a personal failure, but as part of the process. Every no brings them closer to a yes. Maya herself faced several rejections before finding clients who appreciated her work. Instead of giving up, she kept asking until she found the right opportunities. Another reason people hesitate is the belief that asking for help makes them appear weak or dependent. In reality, the opposite is true. Asking shows confidence, clarity, and the willingness to take action. It's a skill that demonstrates self-awareness and resourcefulness, traits that others respect and admire. The key to effective asking lies in how you frame your request. Be clear, specific, and intentional. Instead of vaguely saying, "I need help," try something like, "I'd love your advice on improving this project. Could we schedule a quick call?" This not only makes it easier for the other person to respond, but also shows that you value their time and expertise. Let's revisit Maya's story. By reaching out to local businesses, she didn't just gain clients. She built relationships that led to referrals, collaborations, and a steady flow of work. Her willingness to ask didn't just solve her immediate problem, it set the stage for long-term success. Here's your challenge. Think about an area in your life where you need support, whether it's advice, resources, or an opportunity. Identify one person or organization you can reach out to and craft a clear, respectful request. Then, take the leap and ask. Remember, the worst outcome is a no, but the potential rewards are limitless. Asking doesn't guarantee success, but not asking guarantees missed opportunities. By taking the initiative and reaching out, you position yourself for growth, connection, and achievement. Just like Maya, you'll find that many doors are waiting to open, you just have to knock. Because when you ask boldly, the world responds. Lesson 10. The principle of the middle way. In a world full of extremes, it's easy to fall into the trap of all or nothing thinking, overworking yourself in pursuit of success, or avoiding challenges altogether to stay comfortable. But there's a timeless philosophy that offers balance and wisdom, the principle of the middle way. It's about finding harmony, avoiding extremes, and taking a measured approach to challenges and opportunities. Take Rachel, a university student juggling academics, a part-time job, and her social life. At first, she tried to excel in all areas, pushing herself to the brink of exhaustion. Then, when burnout hit, she swung to the opposite extreme, withdrawing from her commitments and avoiding responsibilities. Neither approach worked. She felt stuck and unhappy. After a conversation with her mentor, Rachel decided to adopt a middle ground strategy. She set boundaries for her time, learned to say no when necessary, and prioritized her well-being. With this balanced approach, Rachel not only regained control of her life, but also began to excel in her studies and work without sacrificing her happiness. Rachel's experience highlights the wisdom of the middle way. It's not about compromising your goals or ambitions. It's about pacing yourself, staying adaptable, and recognizing that progress often lies between extremes. The middle way applies to many aspects of life. In work, it means balancing effort with rest, knowing when to push harder and when to step back. In relationships, it means finding a balance between giving and receiving, ensuring mutual respect and understanding. Even in decision-making, the middle way teaches us to weigh options carefully, avoiding impulsive choices or endless overthinking. This principle also extends to how we handle challenges. Instead of viewing problems as insurmountable obstacles or ignoring them altogether, the middle way encourages us to break them into manageable steps. By taking a calm, thoughtful approach, we can navigate difficulties with clarity and confidence. The beauty of the middle way lies in its adaptability. It recognizes that life isn't black and white, but filled with shades of gray. This perspective allows us to stay flexible, make adjustments when needed, and maintain a sense of equilibrium even during turbulent times. Here's how you can apply the middle way in your life. 1. Evaluate your priorities. Are there areas where you're overcommitted or underinvested? Identify what truly matters and adjust your focus accordingly. 2. Set realistic boundaries. Avoid extremes by creating limits that protect your time, energy, and well-being. 3. Practice patience. Progress takes time. Resist the urge to rush or give up. Find a steady, sustainable pace that works for you. Let's revisit Rachel's story. By embracing balance, she didn't just find relief from burnout, she discovered a way to thrive. Her grades improved, her job performance soared, and she felt more connected to her friends and family. The middle way became her guide, helping her achieve success without losing herself in the process. Here's your challenge. Think about an area in your life where you feel pulled toward extremes. Maybe it's work, health, or a personal goal. Identify one small adjustment you can make to find balance and commit to it for a week. Notice how this shift affects your energy, focus, and overall well-being. The middle way isn't just a strategy, it's a mindset. By embracing balance, you gain the clarity to move forward with purpose and the resilience to handle life's challenges with grace. Because true success isn't found at the extremes, it's cultivated in the middle. Lesson 11. Don't worry about struggling to succeed. Struggle is an inevitable part of any journey toward success. Yet for many, the discomfort of struggling can feel like a sign of failure. The truth is, struggles are not roadblocks, they're stepping stones. They shape your character, teach resilience, and prepare you for the challenges ahead. If you're willing to embrace them, struggles can become your greatest teacher. Let's talk about Jason, a recent college graduate who struggled to find a job in his field. Months of rejection left him doubting his abilities and wondering if he'd ever get a break. One evening, Jason spoke with a mentor who shared a simple yet powerful perspective. Success isn't about avoiding struggles, it's about what you learn and how you grow from them. Inspired, Jason reframed his mindset. Instead of seeing rejection as failure, he viewed it as feedback. He refined his resume, improved his interview skills, and kept applying. Eventually, his persistence paid off, and he landed a role that aligned with his passions and skills. Jason's journey is a reminder that struggle is not a sign to stop. It's a sign to adapt and push forward. The most successful people didn't achieve their goals without difficulties. In fact, their struggles often became the foundation for their success. One of the keys to overcoming struggle is shifting your perspective. Instead of focusing on the discomfort, focus on what the challenge is teaching you. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow? When you approach struggles with curiosity and resilience, they become opportunities rather than obstacles. Another important lesson is to avoid comparing your journey to others. Everyone's path is unique, and success often takes longer than we expect. What matters isn't how quickly you reach a goal, but how much you grow along the way. Struggles have a way of revealing your strengths and helping you discover what you're truly capable of. It's also essential to remind yourself that struggling doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Progress is rarely linear. There will be setbacks, detours, and moments of doubt. What separates those who succeed from those who give up is the ability to keep going, even when the path is unclear. Let's revisit Jason's story. His struggle to find a job wasn't just about external challenges, it was about building resilience and clarity. Each rejection taught him something new, and each application brought him closer to the role he eventually earned. His struggles didn't just prepare him for the job, they prepared him for the lifelong journey of growth and adaptation. Here's your challenge. Think about a struggle you're currently facing. Instead of resisting it, take a moment to reflect on what it's teaching you. Write down one lesson you've learned from the experience and one small action you can take to move forward. Remember, growth often comes from discomfort, and every struggle is an opportunity in disguise. Struggles aren't meant to defeat you, they're meant to refine you. By embracing them, you build the resilience, wisdom, and strength needed to succeed. Just like Jason, your struggles can become the stepping stones to something greater. Because success isn't about avoiding the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Final lesson: Success Secrets. As we arrive at the final lesson, let's take a moment to reflect on the journey. Success isn't about luck or talent. It's about choices, consistency, and mindset. The most extraordinary achievements often come from ordinary people who dared to believe in their potential and took bold steps toward their dreams. Think of Lisa, a bookstore employee with a passion for writing. For years she wrote in secret, afraid her work wasn't good enough to share. One day, she decided to change her story. She submitted her manuscript to a publisher, not expecting much, but the response was overwhelming. Her book became a bestseller, not because she was a literary genius, but because she had the courage to try. Lisa's success wasn't just in the outcome, it was in the decision to believe in herself. This final lesson is simple. The secrets to success are already within you. You've learned how to identify opportunities, focus on what matters, build meaningful connections, and embrace challenges. But the most important secret of all is this: success begins with you. Let's recap the journey. 1. Find where fortunes are made. Focus on creating value rather than passively storing it. True wealth comes from innovation and impact. 2. Master the skill of taking action. Progress isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Take the first step, no matter how small. 3. Hone your ideas. Share, refine, and embrace feedback. Great ideas are rarely born perfect. They're shaped through collaboration and persistence. 4. Simplify your life. Eliminate what's unnecessary to focus on what truly matters. 5. Praise others. Lift those around you with genuine recognition. Kindness creates trust, opportunities, and lasting connections. 6. Prioritize the essential. Let go of plans and distractions that don't align with your goals. 7. Embrace greatness. Believe that extraordinary achievements are within your reach. Start small, but aim high. 8. Reframe challenges. Change how you view problems, and you'll change how you respond to them. 9. Ask and achieve. Don't hesitate to seek help, opportunities, or connections. Boldness opens doors. 10. Find balance. Avoid extremes by embracing the wisdom of the middle way. 11. Welcome struggles. Struggles aren't barriers. They're opportunities to grow, adapt, and strengthen your resolve. Here's your challenge. Pick one of these lessons and commit to applying it in your life today. Whether it's taking a step toward a long-delayed goal or reframing a challenge you're facing, let this be your moment to act. Success isn't a destination. It's a mindset, a journey, and a choice you make every day. The world is full of opportunities waiting for someone bold enough to seize them. That someone is you. Because the greatest secret of success is this: it's already within your reach. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found value in this episode, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and type "I'm ready" in the comments below. Remember, your success story starts today.